AITA for going home when my wife didn't let me into the delivery room. My male 28 wife, female 29, gave birth a few days ago. We had what I believe to be a fairly standard pregnancy, and I did my best to take care of things and make it easy for her. I took her to the hospital when she was due and her sister and mother met us there. The problem started when she was taken to the delivery room. She asked the nurse that only her mother and sister, female 27, be allowed in the delivery, and then told me that she wanted me to wait until I've delivered and calm down before letting me into the room. I was kind of shocked and didn't want to make a scene, so I just said okay and sat down in the waiting room. We had not really discussed the plan for the hospital and I had no reason to think I wouldn't be there when my son was born. I texted her sister if she knew my wife was going to do this. She said no. I told her to ask if my wife was concerned about something because I don't consider myself someone who would have made a fuss or made things more difficult for her. She texted back after a while saying that my wife just doesn't want you to see her like this, and then added that she didn't agree with my wife and tried to convince her, but ultimately it was her choice and I should respect it. I sat in the waiting room for 6 hours getting minimal updates as the labor was fairly slow, and then I decided that there was no point, so I texted her sister that I was going home. I'd meet my son when they brought him home and handle the birth certificate stuff the next day. They came home about 9 hours later and I was finally able to meet my son. When my wife's mother and sister left, she got very angry at me for leaving her at the hospital. I was angry too, but I told her that we can talk about this in a few days because she's just given birth. She wouldn't drop the subject, so I finally told her that she excluded me from the birth of my son for no reason. I didn't see the need to hang around a hospital waiting room for hours doing nothing, and that even her own sister thinks what she did was wrong. She said there could have been complications and I needed to be there, to which I replied that I wouldn't have been there because she kept me out of the room and the doctors would have handled any problems anyways. She called me an inconsiderate asshole and has been talking short with me for several days. Her sister told me I should just apologize and move past it because it was a stressful time for my wife, but I think I'm owed a bigger apology first for how I was excluded from my own son's birth. Story 2. AITA for leaving during my wife's labor. My wife went into labor around 6 p.m. on Sunday. We were expecting twins. It quickly turns into a very painful process. She kept cutting off the blood pressure to my hand when she squeezed and nearly sprayed my shirt with vomit. Around 3 a.m. my dad calls. I work for my dad's company and we had a presentation for clients Monday morning that I had to get ready for. My dad heard my wife was in labor but told me he needed me on this presentation. He said there was nothing I could do to help my wife in delivery and seeing the baby come out was overrated and people don't prepare you for the gore. He said he needed me to rest up and make myself presentable for the presentation. My wife's labor was progressing very slowly and we were all certain she would need forceps or other assistance to deliver the babies. I realized that I couldn't help her here, and my dad was counting on me, so I told her I needed to leave. She started screaming at me so loudly that a few nurses rushed over to our room. I ended up doing the presentation with the clients and things went well. I leave the office and see a text on my phone that said my wife delivered an hour ago at around 10:30 a.m. and they had to use forceps. I would have missed the meeting had I stayed, and my dad has given me everything he could possibly give me in life, so I didn't want to let him down. At AITA, I had responsibilities I had to take care of, and while my wife is still screaming at me saying that she was alone when they destroyed her body, I'm the only one who works, and her mom herself said that she was emotional and overreacting. My wife even went as far to say that her family would disown her if she was the first of them to divorce, but that she doesn't consider me her husband right now. Story 3. AITA at 27 female for telling my sister 19 female that she needs to move out because we want to convert her room into a nursery after our baby is born. My sister has been living in our condo for the last 2 years since it is located in the city, and is only a 10-minute drive from her campus. My in-laws gifted us the condo when we got married and the mortgage is all paid off, so we never charged her any rent. It only has 3 bedrooms and we use one for the home office, one for our bedroom, and let my sister stay in the third one. My husband and I decided that we were finally in a good enough financial situation this year to have a baby and let my sister know that she needed to move out before the baby was born. We want to convert her room into the nursery. However, she's been complaining to everyone that we are kicking her out in the middle of a pandemic, and has been asking us to convert the home office into the nursery so that she can keep her room. I do feel bad for her since she's had to take out a ton of loans to cover her college tuition already, and the rent prices in New York are insane, but we need our home office since we both work from home and feel like we have to do what is best for our baby first. AITA. Edit. My husband and I have been waiting to have kids for years, so waiting another 2 years for her to finish college is not an option for us. We both work from home and need separate rooms when we work, as we do have a lot of meetings during the day. We never promised my sister that she could stay with us all 4 years of her college, but since we had the space and she asked, we were fine with her staying. Starting a family is the most important thing to us right now, and I have to put my husband and our family plans before my sister. I will definitely be helping my sister with her apartment hunting though.